Hi everyone, here's your second lecture in week 2. I hope that everything is going well. I want to let you know that in talking about embedded sustainability, as we talked about last week, it is really looking at taking sustainability initiatives, whether it's to save water or find new ways to package things that are more recyclable. Those are the things that we want to look at and see how, in addition to those, they can help the people around them who live in the communities where they are manufacturing, to look at the employees who work at the companies, to look at environmental groups and see what are they asking for from the company, what are they expecting. We talked about this last week in our big 3 tenets. So the first thing I want to do is I want to define what a shareholder is. And shareholders are the one who are investors in the company. And so they basically are the customers that you need to satisfy if you want to continue to go. You have a fiduciary responsibility to have your business succeed to the point that you can actually give returns on the money that they have invested. So this is the foundation of business. The second group, and we talked about this last week with radical transparency, are the stakeholders. And the stakeholders are groups of people who have a vital interest in the company. The stakeholders are the ones who want to support the organization, but who also want to come and make the company accountable. So if I have an environmental group who is working on water rights in, let's say, the state of Kansas, then they're very interested in what the company is doing there, in the use of the water, in the recycling of the water, and in ensuring that there is enough water there for all of the people and the other activities that happen in that area. So the stakeholders are people who have, or groups that have an invested interest in what the company does. Environmentally, socially, they're expecting things to come back from the company. If the stakeholders are not satisfied, we talked last week, you can have an armchair blogger who sits there, and if a company comes in and they are withdrawing water unsustainably, it can go around Facebook in 24 hours and it can absolutely cut the knees out from underneath of that company. One of the resource examples for a company is when BP had the oil spill in the Gulf in 2010. They were in the process of capping the well, so that they could stop the oil from flowing from the water bottom. But what happened because of the result of this, because of the stakeholders, because of the perception, in the next 2 months, BP lost $100 billion in its value because of the perception of its effects on the environment, the effects on the people who were losing their businesses in Louisiana. So stakeholders are something that those groups and those people have to be taken seriously. If a company wants to do something and they're only driven by their shareholder, eventually that is going to have to come to an end. The combination of these two, if you're trying to please the shareholder and the stakeholder, this is what we call, you have just created sustainable value. And this is the state that the company can be in where it is satisfying both. We talk about embedding sustainability, and if you're not working with sustainable practices, then the stakeholders are going to let you know. And if you are having issues with fiduciary monetary flow, then the shareholders are going to let you know. So some of the compromises, they're not really compromises. Some of the joining of the stakeholders and the shareholders working together to look at ways that social platforms can be taken care of and dealt with, and environmental issues in the area can be taken care of. You're actually going to find that having sustainable value is something that in the short term you'll be able to look at. But as you use resources sustainability, like water, and you're using it in your manufacturing plant, if you don't use it sustainably now, then 15 years from now, if there's not a water supply, you're not going to be able to have your business there anyway. So, in bringing these two together, the shareholders and the stakeholders, and in joining together in forces, it should create a sustainable value for the long term of the business. Okay,